Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Iron Man issue 5. And this was a pretty good issue because we got more movement on Tony assembling his team and them trying to stop Korvac, but evidently Korvac's plans so far are pretty much winding out pretty well. So we start off and we see that Tony is like checking in to make sure that Patsy's okay. She's like, yeah, he's not here at the moment. And she's like, damn, your suit's looking all busted up and everything. He's like, yeah, I'll deal with that. But I just wanted to make sure you're okay before he checks in with the other guys. So we see the team that he has assembled, and he's got Gargoyle, Misty, Scarlet Spider, and Frogman. And I love that they kind of explain everybody's kind of like jobs and everything that they're dealing with. And Gargoyle, Scarlet Spider, and Misty, you got a kind of a good feel for, and then you get to Frogman, and it just shits on him, and it's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, he's got no solo series, no action figures, and is pretty much a busboy at the restaurant that Gargoyle deals with as well. It's like, god dang. So he pretty much is like, sorry, I don't have the time for most of what we have to deal with here, like no coffee, no donuts, so let's get to this. Pretty much gets a drink of water and gives him the lowdown on Korvac. He's like, yeah, it's usually a cosmic level entity kind of threat. It took the whole Avengers, but of course Rhodey's a consideration, and he is an android at the moment, but he is powered up to like 48 petawatts, and of course the Earth absorbs like 120 from the sun, and Missy's like, oh good, he's not as powerful as the sun. And they're just like, alright, so how are we going to kind of like deal with this? Well, I know your guys' opinion of me, because Missy's like, listen, I'm doing this for like Rhodey and the universe. And he's like, listen, I get that, and I just need you guys to listen to me regardless of your opinions of me and everything. And he then starts to go out to kind of figure out what to do. So we shift over, and Korvac shaves his goatee, which Rhodey's like, at least you shaved that off. And he's like, whatever. We've got the information that they've got Tatu on lock. They got to be leaving before it leaves the Goss sector. And like, this ship will take us there. And Korvac needs, of course, 1 hour because he needs to sacrifice Tony Stark for some reason to do this whole quest thing. It's really interesting why he's following this kind of quest structure and having all this kind of Christian imagery around in his ascension to godhood. It's like, okay, why do these things need to happen this way? We'll kind of have to see if that gets any kind of more revealed. But let's see. We then shift over to Patsy, and of course he needs Stark to be brought out, so he starts trying to pretty much talk to Patsy to like draw her out. And of course we see flashbacks of when she had to deal with these voices before, and they had used shock therapy, which is like one of the last ones to kind of like deal with it and manage it and get it under control. And evidently, with Korvac being able to talk to her like this, he's able to draw her out, and she's like, it's raining, what the hell? And of course they're talking, he's like, hey, I'll make all the pain go away, I'll make everything one. He's like, she's going, screw you, screw that shit, and punches pretty much an electrical kind of it's not a transformer, it's like too small to that, it's like an electrical thing on the wall to kind of like shock herself out. And she's like, oh, I gotta be doing the fearful ignorance and everything kind of thing. And then we shift over to Tony ruminating on like always being wrong. And I kind of get that. A lot of the decisions Tony makes on certain instances really kind of end up biting shit in the ass. And kind of like with the whole Empire thing and the Kotati and that whole whoa. But it's really interesting to see him like going through that angle. He's like, listen, Korvac has to be insane and crazy, right? Because there's been times that I've been thinking that I'm completely right and I'm wrong, but then he starts thinking, but what if I'm wrong in that assessment? What if he's right? What if I'm given a long enough timeline? Of course, there's a lot of people that think of themselves as a god. What's the matter of time before they become right? And that's an interesting kind of thing to think about. I'm like, interesting. Would you know that when that happens? But the thing is, would that person be doing all these different kinds of things like this? So Tony's group, with of course Halcyon in tow as well, have found crazy radiation signatures at a warehouse, making it kind of look like that's Korvac's kind of thing from what we've been led to believe in earlier in the issue. He tells them to go scope it out, see what's going on, and of course he's able to figure out where Patsy is, goes down, and she's freaking out, talking about fire and teeth and that her soul is dead. And this is evidently a link to what was going on to when she was like married, or with Damon Hellstrom. And it's like, okay, she's freaking out and she's not doing well. And Tony's trying to do his best to kind of comfort her, make sure she's okay. But of course, somewhere nearby, civilians start running out because there's a bomb threat. He's like, I gotta get deal with this. And of course, Korvac pretty much did it to get them alone together in pretty much a laundromat, where they start having a little bit of a quip thing with like laundry and all that, where he's like, well, don't make sure to separate your whites and colors, you don't want them to bleed. Yes, bleed. And then he's like, wow, your dude's kind of like really screwed up, man. It's like, it is what it is. But of course, Tony's also talking with his group. They found this ship. It's a Shi'ar jump ship, which is different than what we saw that Korvac and his acolytes were looking at before. And he, of course, is like telling them to shut it down. They go and it's like, it's kind of empty. The only thing is going on with the jump drive. And he tells them to get out, but there's an explosion. He's like, anybody? He's like, hey, gotta lose some time, pretty much. Korvac's thing is like, hey, just let it go. You can't, you know what I mean? This isn't your realm of expertise. You should let this go. Of course, Tony blasts him with pretty much everything he's got, but that takes his armor down to pretty much nothing. And Korvac, with like half of his face gone, it goes up, steps on his like neck thing, crushing it, and his armor's saying that he's pretty much got danger for hypoxia, pretty much dying like that. He's like, well, it'll be good saving the universe kind of thing, as he like goes away in his villain kind of way. It's like, oh shit. So it'll be interesting to see how Tony kind of gets through that one and is able to continue chasing after Korvac, and what has happened to the group that he sent to the Shi'ar jump ship. I could imagine that Frogman gets taken out, but I mean, they made such a thing going on of him being shit on that I would almost be reversed to think like Frogman might actually somehow have like saved everybody with how much he was like getting shit on. So we'll kind of have to see how they get out, or if they're all dead. So that'll be kind of weird, because the kid get to a point where Tony takes in cosmic energy and uses that to kind of save them or bring them back. Not out of the realm of not out of the realm of possibility, given what usually goes on. So we'll have to see how this goes out. I'm like, this was kind of an interesting development. Well, let's kind of see where it goes from here. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.